year is 1430. Something was wrong with the weather. For 500 years, Europe suffered through the Little Ice Age. Summers became shorter, winters became longer and harsher. Harvests failed year after year. Even the rivers and lakes froze solid for months. People began to starve, even in years when they worked the hardest. The climate had changed, and it would stay this way for centuries. Frostbite, hunger, and disease became constant companions. Many believed God was punishing them. This was the brutal reality of surviving the Little Ice Age. The Little Ice Age brought sudden and unpredictable weather. Summers were cold and wet, which destroyed most harvests. One bad harvest meant hunger. Two bad harvests meant starvation for entire villages.
Make it last. Be careful.
I'll be careful, I promise.
People ate whatever they could find: rotten food, tree bark, and sometimes even grass. Collecting firewood became a daily battle that could take hours in freezing conditions. Rivers stayed frozen for months. Finding fresh water or fish turned into an exhausting ordeal. Malnutrition and constant cold made people extremely vulnerable to disease. Entire villages were wiped out. Those who survived often had to leave everything behind. Frostbite was so common that losing fingers and toes became normal. Charity
Please, sir,
became
we beg for
rare
food.
because everyone was starving.
We are starving!
People turned against each
Mercy,
other.
please.
Every day was a brutal fight just to see the next sunrise. When wood ran out, people burned dung, old furniture, and even their own tools just to stay alive. Many ate bread made from tree bark, acorns, and weeds just to fill their stomachs. Livestock froze to death in the fields. One lost cow could mean the end for an entire family.
The food is gone! We must share what's left! Share! My children are starving!
Neighbors turned on each other. Theft and fights over food became everyday occurrences. For over 500 years, this brutal cycle repeated itself across Europe. Entire generations grew up knowing nothing but cold, hunger, and fear. Even in the middle of summer, fields looked like the middle of winter. People aged decades faster. A 40-year-old looked like 70. Mass migrations began. People left their homes hoping to find better land. The Little Ice Age didn't just change the weather. It changed the course of human history. Knowledge of how to survive the cold was passed from father to son like the most important inheritance.
Like this?
Good. Now the other.
Thank you.
Death became so common that mourning was a luxury most could not afford. People made everything by hand because nothing could be wasted. Even getting drinking water could take hours of brutal physical labor every single day. This was not just a bad winter. This was life for over 5 centuries. Desperate families ate weeds, leaves, and even clay mixed with flour to survive. Forests were slowly destroyed as people searched for anything that could burn. Many lost toes and feet to frostbite, yet continued working to keep their families alive. Mothers watched their children slowly weaken, knowing there was almost nothing they could do. Some families simply gave up and waited for death to take them. Some fought until the very end, even when they had almost nothing left. Even the weakest members of the family had to work until they collapsed. By the third month of winter, many villages looked completely abandoned. Frostbite was not dramatic. It was slow, painful, and permanent. And yet, life continued, because giving up was not an option. Meals that once fed a family for a week now barely lasted 2 days. Nothing was thrown away. Everything was repaired until it fell apart completely. Crossing frozen rivers became one of the most dangerous daily tasks. Beauty and youth disappeared quickly in the Little Ice Age. Every morning, they woke up wondering if this winter would ever end. Many marriages were tested to the breaking point by endless hunger and cold. Tools were maintained with care because they were the only hope for the next harvest. Death was no longer feared. It had become a constant companion. Another grave, another life taken by the endless winter. And still, they endured. Between 1300 and 1850, Europe was struck by the Little Ice Age. The coldest period was between 1560 and 1660. Temperatures dropped by almost 2 degrees Celsius on average, enough to completely change agriculture and life across the continent. Historians estimate that millions died from famine and cold-related diseases during this period. In some regions, up to 30% of the population perished. In the worst years, there were even documented cases of cannibalism, something that had almost disappeared from Europe for centuries. Despite everything, the human will to survive proved stronger than the coldest winters in centuries. Every spring brought a fragile hope that maybe this year would be better.
We must keep going.
They planted, they harvested,
I'm so tired, Ma.
and they prepared for the next winter because they knew it was coming again. The Little Ice Age lasted over 500 years, but humanity endured. So the next time you complain about the cold, remember those who survived the Little Ice Age.